What's up everyone, how's it going? Shar Mustafiz here.
With M Digital 2, and I'm back after a long time, and you're probably wondering why my face is frozen, everything's going black, and I'm making this mid-2000s joke, and well, it all started back in the summer of 69. I don't even know what I'm doing. Well, it's about 3 a.m., maybe 4 a.m. at this point. I've lost track of time. And the whole reason why you're seeing this video, or wondering if this is a replay, or wondering why my disembodied voice is narrating to you instead of being live in front of a camera, is that when I recorded the video, I was rushing and I didn't notice that there was a speck of dirt on the lens. So now that I'm trash, I'm going to go delete myself, and you're going to have to deal with my disembodied voice. Nevertheless, let's get on with the show. Recently, I had the opportunity to work with and collaborate with Rustic Bodomov once again. If you guys recall, earlier in the year, about 6 months ago, I turned him into a cool Super Saiyan in his stop-motion Dragon Ball Z style fight scene thing he did. Like last time, I did a VFX for his video, and for this one, we have a boxing match kind of thing going on. You can actually go check out the previous video and the breakdown for it here as well. But nevertheless, the video is going to not only cover the before and after of me adding the effects, but with the special request from Rusik, I decided to cover and break down 2 of the major key VFX shots. But before I get started, I highly recommend checking out the original video on Rustik's channel. Links to it are available in the description below and cards above. Also, chapter markers are on the timeline as usual, so you can navigate easily through the video. Now let's get started with the before and after segment.
Show off. Game time. Nice.
Yo, what the hell? Alright, now that we're done with that, I'd like to point out that though the video was surprisingly short, it was mostly composed of a total of 12 VFX shots. And like I said at the beginning of the video, I'll be breaking down 2 of them. Now to accomplish these scenes, I use my favorite compositing software, Adobe After Effects. So let us hop back onto the computer, break this thing down. So now that we're in front of the computer, we're going to open up After Effects. I already have it open right here. Like Rustic asked me to do, I'm going to break down 2 shots, one being this really cool dash shot, and this really cool backwards spin kick echoey effect. So, going back, it looks simple enough to make, right? If you're familiar with After Effects. If not, it looks a little intimidating. The initial shot was actually just a jump cut of the actor, the boxer, Tim. His name is Tim, I believe. So if I were to solo out everything else, we'd have it look like this. So it's a jump cut. We have a simple jump cut showing traveling of time, and my challenge was to fill in that little jump in between. So what I did was carry over and have the lightning effect that I've created. If you're interested in that, I will probably create a tutorial about that in the future. Leave a comment below if you're interested in that. So these are initially the effects that are overlaid on top of the individual. And it is all done by hand, and some tracking here and there, motion tracking. And I just wanted to show off how you have little glints and small little compositions. And there's a speed echo in there as well. So when he does go for the initial speed, it's just basically a still frame of the individual, of the video, from here to here, and I have added basically motion blur traveling in between. So you can't tell if you separate the elements like I have done on the black background. It's easier to see, but with everything moving, all the detail in the scene and the composition, it's pretty easy enough to see that there's something else there. And I added motion blur. So my initial experience or my inspiration for the scene came from not an anime per se, even though this is an anime inspired boxing video, but from the effect that Ant-Man does when he shrinks in Marvel's Ant-Man and Wasp or Ant-Man. And Red Giant had done a really sweet tutorial where they took basically the speed echo or the layers and just layered it up and then used the opacity to fade in, so you have this really cool echoey effect. Nevertheless, when you go back to the shot, you have this echo. But here's this thing that I use a lot, which is motion blur. If you enable a motion blur on your layer and enable it again on within, and once I add motion blur, everything gets tied together. It's like kind of like Pikachu in Pokemon. I'm stretching some of these electrical, if I zoom in here and go up to full, some of these electrical elements that I have here are all in motion blur as well, and they tie together in the scenes just so well. And if I was to isolate them once again, they're just basically lines that I have created within After Effects. If I just disable the fill layer, press OK, have the white marker, and upload my stroke, they're just essentially that. But what I've done is just basically create a wiggle form, and like I said, I will make a detailed, in-depth tutorial on how to do really cool lightning effects in After Effects. But for now, I'm just breaking this down as quick as possible because we're running out of time for this video, and the next one is going to come out pretty soon. And so that was my methodology to create those speed trails that we have for Tim the Boxer. To tie it off, we added in a little pan to tie the scene together and keep continuity. Now, on to the next scene. We have here Rustic doing a really cool bicycle kick, and I was more so, this one was to basically make it easier on me. I used a similar principle where we actually cut out Rustic, but I did not use a freeze frame of him, and I was more so very much inspired by the anime and manga, beloved anime and manga, JoJo's Bizarre World. So we have Rustic here doing a really cool spin kick, and he does this really cool time echo effect when he slows down and then these trails follow him. Just like the effect before, I just want to imply more motion, emphasize some motion, emphasize the energy that he has. So I went with the color blue to contrast the yellow of Tim on the left here. And so when the impact happens, you have a lens flare, another lens flare to tie things off. So if I toggle it, so if the lens flare adds a little impact, and so what I'm using is Video Copilot's lens flare pack. And one thing that's cool about this, it is a paid option, and there are alternatives like Real Light Factory on aescripts.com and such like that. And also Adobe After Effects does have a built-in lens flare generator, but this is the one I created with using Video Copilot's optical flares. And going to the main effect of Rustic kicking Tim, the impact is simple. All I used was Action Essentials, some flares and such like that. But you're probably more interested in how I did this amazing spin kick effect. So it took some I made this before the new update for After Effects, but I used Rotobrush. What is Rotobrush? Let me explain. So Rotobrush allows me to cut people up. I know that sounds very violent, but what it does is basically allows me to create a quick garbage matte, quickly cut out. Just think about if you're using Photoshop, you can cut people out. Now this was very done not so perfectly because I was using an older version of After Effects, but the newer version of After Effects that just recently released last Monday before this video came out would probably do a better job since it's AI assisted, Adobe AI Sensei assisted, and I'll probably be looking at that in the future, or for a future video that I'll probably be using for Rustic. But what I do essentially just basically, you can go frame by frame, cut them out. Like I said, I'll do a specific tutorial on how to use this tool in the future. But in total, it's about 20 frames of cutting Rustic out. And what I've done is take the bottom layer, that's the top layer of Rustic, but this is the bottom layer of Rustic right here. If we take this, and what I've done is this effect called Echo. Echo essentially allows me to do what I did with creating a bunch of layers and creating a screen effect. But what Echo does is basically offset the time and position of the video or the clip. So if I was to disable or solo the element on its own. And I've also overlaid a bunch of other effects here: fine edges, tint, a VC color vibrance effect as well. But that allows me to kind of create this really cool Earth, Wind, and Fire, if you're really familiar with that music video effect, where he's creating this echoey effect of him. And all I did was basically cut him. First, step one, cut him out. Second, applied effects, and then finally ended off with this effect, echo effect. And I've offset it by about 3 echoes. And this allows me to create that cool shimmering echo effect that Rustic does. So when he jumps up, it fades into him, and then we have the impact. And so I wanted the impact to be very much shaken, like it shakes Tim to his core. So again, I'm applying his electricity, and as well as I'm adding a little blue hint, so to show that Rustic's, all of the kinetic energy from Rustic is being transferred to his leg, to his kick. And I wanted to basically do that. And if you guys have seen certain boxing or martial arts animes, they like to do this, like add a lot of embers flying everywhere. So that's my quick visual effects breakdown. Alright, I think that's enough VFX for one day. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please do leave a like. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing, clicking the little bell for the notifications. I intend to be more active on this channel, possibly in front of the camera next time, for more VFX and behind the scenes content. Leave a comment below if you like, letting me know if there's a VFX shot you'd like me to recreate or break down. Your comments will be featured in the next video for sure. Also, my next collaboration with Rustic is already up. It's a Android fight scene, and there's another short fight scene that I helped work with him and do some VFX with. So go ahead and show the guy some love and check out his channel, as well as check out my other stuff as well. Links are all in the description below. You can follow me on Twitter and on Instagram. Hit me up there at Mustafiz Shah. Both of them are the same title. Other than that, check out Rustic's channel once again, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.